Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and I'd promised you another trade example where we'd have a learning opportunity. And this turns out to be a great trade for this trader. And sometimes, if you don't enter in the right place at the right time, it doesn't make a difference, but many times it does. So if you want to be consistent and keep a high win rate, you have to avoid breaking the rules like this. So I don't think this trader realized what he was doing until I pointed it out. And I've seen other people do this. So this is a good learning opportunity. Even though this is a great trade, it works out. He's late entering. So as you can see, this was the signal bar that triggered the trade. And basically what he has is two legs up. So on a bigger picture, this is indeed a second entry. By the counts here, it is not a second entry because you have a new low there. So, but what he had told me was he was playing the breakout out of this range, expecting it to come back, and was taking the first move out. When generally you should wait on the lower high here as well. But if you're a really good chart reader and you see the second entry on the bigger picture, then maybe you might still take this. But your entry would be one tick below the signal bar here. And that's the only place we can enter. We can't chase a trade and enter late or that kind of thing. Now, if you missed the trigger, you might, and it hadn't gone too far like this, you might drop a limit order in right here, one tick below that, and be able to get in the trade. But that's not how he plays it. But let's let it play out here, and you can see how he plays it. And I may stop it and uh, make some comments. But I promised to get this out as a learning opportunity, so I'm trying to do it today. But let's let this play. And you can see he already has his order ready down here, but he's 2 bars too late entering here. And you never want to enter right into the EMA either like that. So um, just not a good
Order
practice.
submitted.
So he should have entered below this bar, and he's entering 2 bars late here. Now, he probably, well, this bar didn't come back enough to get him into the trade, but we'll see here. And he's got a 2 point stop here as well, which he's having to trade with a bigger stop than he should because um, and his stop's not in the right place. So he's taking a lot of risk, and not and anytime you leave your stop in the middle of a move like that, there's a good chance you can get stopped out even on a good trade. So there's a reason we put our safety stop one tick. I mean, there's a reason we put our safety stop one tick above the signal bar because it's protected there. If you're reading the chart right, prices should not go back there and take that out. Now, if they do, you probably didn't read the chart right. But if you're reading the chart right and we're going lower from here, that's the safest place you can have your stop is one tick above that high right there. And there's a reason we put it there because it's protected by previous support and resistance. In this case, it'd be previous resistance up there. So let's let this continue to play here for you. It's a miracle he didn't get stopped out here. It seems like he maybe moves his stop back some. I'm not sure. I can't remember how this plays out, but I do know he gets somewhat of a runner here. Not near as much as he would have had if he'd have just. I'd probably left the way I probably would have played this was to exit just above this support. So right in there would have been a good spot to exit. And I think he would have had the opportunity to exit here if I remember right, but he moves it and ends up not getting as good of an entry later here. Or as bigger runner, I should say. But how you manage your runner is totally different than following the rules on your entry and stop loss and all that. There's no fudge in any of the part on your where you enter. It's always one tick above or below the signal par, depending on um, whether you're going long or short. Once again, he gets lucky here and doesn't get stopped out. And he does mark this green, so I'm assuming he realizes it wasn't a perfect setup, or maybe he probably would have marked it red. So but you can see if he hadn't moved his stop there, I believe he'd have got a fairly nice runner on this one. Or is it, I shouldn't say his stop, if he hadn't moved his exit um, order there. Right now he's got 2.5 points locked in on his runner. But you can already see the signs of a reversal right here. We're starting to slow down, then you get a reversal type bar here. Um, Prices do go lower. Okay, actually, I guess my memory was incorrect. He did get out down here, so he did get a better entry. So I think he got like 6 points on the runner there. So very good job on the runner. I've tried to manage him like that, and no matter which way I move it, I get it hits my stop or it hits my order. I can't seem to have that kind of luck with those. So I've learned to just put it where I think I've got a good chance of prices going to, and try to get filled, and um, tightening my stop as I go, just in case I'm wrong. So that's generally how I manage it, but I don't teach a whole lot about how to manage the runners because everybody's different, and I couldn't do it like this, but he did very well at it. So I'll give him credit. I mean, he milked that runner for pretty much what he could get out of it, and got out right at the support, or just above the support, which is where I would have tried to get out originally. So very good job on that. The only problem is he entered late here. He entered 2 bars too late because he entered below this bar, and you should be entering 1 tick below this bar or waiting on a lower high and then entering. And you don't get a lower high here, so the only opportunity to enter was here. So, and I would mark that green, but it's a little more advanced. But it's on a bigger picture. You can see that there's a leg up, and then you get a two-legged correction in the middle, um, and then another leg up. And so on a bigger picture, that's you've got your twos on a bigger picture, and you got your twos on this level too. So it is a second entry on a larger scale if you went to a slightly larger chart. So, but that's a lot more advanced. Some of you are not going to be ready for that. You just need to go with what you're counting on your 2,000 tick chart and stay with that. But as you get more advanced, you'll learn to do things like that. So, but great management on that runner. I wish I could do that. Like I said, I just can't seem to be able to do that. I've tried everything under the sun, and I have the best results on my runners when I put it where I think prices are going to bounce and try to get it there and then tighten my stop as I go. That seems to work the best for me. But again, there's no hard and written rules on how to manage runners. So, but it's the entry and where your safety stop goes. Your entry always goes, he should have entered 1 tick below this signal bar, and his safety stop should have been 1 tick above that. Usually, if you put your stop, like if you enter here and put your stop above that bar, generally that's going to get you stopped out 9 times out of 10. So somehow he managed to survive that because they can see if you enter right in here and then suddenly you drop a stop in there, they'll see it and back it up. They'll back prices up 8 or 10 ticks sometimes to try to run those stops. So that's why we have to put them above and below important price structure to make sure you protect it. So anyway, nice trade here. Like I said, I think he got 2 points on the scalp and 6 points on the runner. So very nice trade, very profitable trade for this trader. And but nice work on that runner. Like I said, I wish I could have the patience to do that, but it doesn't seem to work for me. So, but I'm glad it did for you, and I appreciate you sharing your trade. And if anybody else wants to share your trades like this, record them, please, and send them to me. Good or bad, because they're great learning opportunities for others. And I don't ever call anybody's name or anything, so nobody will know who you are. I'll just share the trade and the results and my thoughts, and they're just great learning opportunities. And people like to see other people are successful at these trades following our strategy. And while he did make a couple of mistakes here, it still was a great trade. So congratulations on this one. Just be careful. If you continue to try to enter like that, you're going to get burned some. There's a reason that we only enter here, because generally it'll bounce some at the EMA and it'll come back and get stop you out. So you have to be careful with that, entering late like that. And the only other thing you could have done was put your safety stop up here and say, okay, I still got room to get out before the EMA. So you might think of it like that. But the problem is, if it does come back and stop you out on a bad read, you have a huge loss, and it's hard to make it back up. So the key is to enter where you're supposed to enter so that your safety stop's not any bigger than it has to be, and it's also in the correct place. So again, I'm going to wrap this one up. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. This is Matt with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.